If you want to protect the floors in your RV, you need to watch this video. I'm very pleased with how it came out, and I think you'll be pleased when you make yours and see how well it protects your floor and how easy they are to use. Over the last few months, I've been researching ways to protect the beautiful floors in our motorhome. Our Newmar Dutch Star came with 8 pads to protect the floors, but unfortunately there's 9 rollers, so we were short one. So we were scrambling to find a solution for that, and only recently did I come up with what I believe to be the ultimate solution that's transferable to pretty much any RV that's got rollers coming across tile floors, wood floors, or vinyl floors. This solution is relatively inexpensive and simple. It's a DIY process, and I'm going to try and walk you through that. First, let me give you a little background of how I came across this. Will give you some confidence in this solution. Okay, our Dutch Star came with 8 of these, and this is what I've deduced to be ABS plastic. It's got a felt covering on the backside that goes against your floors to protect them, and it's got this bent edge here which hooks into a groove that's in the floor system, and I'll show you that now how they install. To install the Newmar slide with the bent end, you lift up the carpet and you'll see that either the previous owner or Newmar marked the location of all of these. There's a groove running along the floor here. You center it up on that mark, drop it in, and you're done. So when the roller comes up and pushes against this as it makes its climb, it's got this groove to hold on to it. This is a nice solution, but I had 2 problems. First, I was missing one of these pads. And the other issue, I think is common to a lot of people that have these pads, is that the end breaks off after a while, because ABS, although it's got a lot of good properties, it's still plastic, a little bit on the brittle side, and these break off. So what happens is, as the roller comes in against this edge, and it's got this nice soft felt, it tries to push this thing out of the way. And I had that happen maybe 25% of the time. I'd bring the slide out, try and push them in, and wasn't always successful, and it was very frustrating. And then I saw a suggestion of somebody that you get these, and I'll call them hook and loop because I don't want to use the V word, but you pry them apart. One side is the soft fuzzy, you can throw that away. What you want is the hook side. You lift up your carpet and stick this down. Yeah. Now the nice thing about you put these self-adhesive hook pads down, put them in place, and they're underneath the carpet, so nobody knows that they're there except for you. As you would guess, they'll gather a little bit of sand and stuff, but just vacuuming keeps them working just fine. They're not that expensive. If it does get clogged up with debris after a year or 2, you can just peel them off and replace them. But this is the hook side, and it will connect or attach nicely to the felt that's on the bottom of this pad. So when you put it down, you can hear it when I pull it up coming loose. It doesn't have a lot of strength that way, but this way it's got a lot of strength. So as that roller comes up and makes, it just holds it enough to let the roller get on top. Once the roller's on top of this pad, this pad won't go anywhere. And I've had 100% success with these things staying in place since I put the hook system down on the floor. Okay, so that's fine if your motorhome came with all of these roller pads. But what if you don't have any roller pads and you need them? After searching Amazon, I found this material. It's 1/8 of an inch thick. It's just a little bit thicker than the original Newmar product. Of course, it doesn't have a bend on it. It doesn't have felt. It does have the textured side that is very, very similar to what the Newmar has. So that's half the problem. Amazon also has felt with self-adhesive back. So I just have to put the adhesive felt on here, press it down, and now I have a roller pad. All right, the original roller pad on mine measures 32 inches by 9. The piece that I found on Amazon measures 36 by 12. And the extra length and the extra width will certainly be no issue on mine. Now, in determining these lengths, by coincidence, I found that 32 inches is the measurement of my slide when it's all the way extended. If I go outside and measure from the wall to the end of the slide, the exposed sidewall, it's 32 inches. So I would say, in my case, that wall measures 32 inches again. The minimum length for this is 32 inches because that's going to be the travel of the slide. I think that if I were designing from scratch, I would add 3 or 4 inches like this one, 36 inches, so that I'm safe and I know that my roller is going to end up somewhere in this area, not at the very end. Okay, of course I'll put links to both the ABS sheet and the felt padding in my description. I got both of these off of Amazon. This sheet, one at a time, is relatively expensive, in the mid-20s, but they do have options to buy multiples, and it gets the price down to I think $10 or $11 each. I think this was $10 or $12 for this roll. There's enough on here to cover 2 of these pads, so I'm going to have leftover. But considering the price of your floor, this is a relatively inexpensive investment. So I'm going to roll this out and cut off enough to cover this slide. Yes, I'm using my wife's good scissors, but it's going to protect her good floor, so I don't think she'll object. All right, then I'm going to flip it over. And I'm going to start peeling off the backing. Of course, we're going to put the pad on the smooth side of the ABS. The rough side is what the rollers are going to ride on. Okay, that looks well positioned. I will peel this stuff off. Squeeze out any bubbles we might have. Okay, we want to roll and put some pressure on this. I just happen to have a bottle of Fat Ease Bloody Mary mix that I'm going to use. Maybe using the mix later too. Put this up off the table and trim around the edges. When you're using any adhesive, it's a good thing to let it sit for 24 hours before putting it to the test. Now alternately, if you had a good surface or a not good surface to cut on, like a piece of plywood or something, you could do this with a razor knife, probably do it a lot faster and neater. But this will certainly be sufficient in neatness for this application. When you're trimming this, you end up, I'm not sure if you can see it on camera, but you end up with a little bit of edge hanging over here. If you just run your thumb along here, fold up, that's going to adhere to the edges of this, and it makes a very nice looking edge. So now we've got a roller pad textured on one side, covered in felt on the other, ready for action. I already have all my Velcro pieces in place, so I'm ready to go. Again, the only thing I may want to do is put a bevel on these edges here so that when the roller climbs up, it doesn't have something to bump into and it can climb a little easier. If you've got 9 of these things, what do you do with them when you're camping? Well, we store ours underneath the bed, and they really don't take up much room. They stack up about a little over an inch in height, and they're easy to get at and out of the way. Again, there's links in the description to the ABS sheet that I bought and the adhesive felt. I hope that you find this solution as exciting as I do. It took me a couple of months to come across these different components and reading people's suggestions and thoughts, and I think that this really solves a problem for a lot of people. So I appreciate you watching. I hope you subscribe, and be sure to share this with some of your friends that have got nice floors in their motorhomes and don't want to mess them up. If you love the floors in your RV, stay tuned for this video. If you really love the floors in your RV, you'll stay tuned to this video. If you love the floors in your RV, I've got something to show you. If you love the floors in your RV, you need to see this video. If you want to protect the floors in your RV, you need to watch this video.